Hey there, Taurus. I want to go ahead and get into your reading for the last bit of January 2020. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying your new year. Show me energies present for Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay. Do something for someone. Give your attention to another. Do something for someone. Give your attention to another. Here she's got a little bunny in her hands. I don't know if this is connecting with your animals more, being with somebody who you love, however it works out for you. At the bottom of the deck, listen to your heart. You are listening, but need to hear with a loving heart, however that resonates for you. Show me energy present for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm going to pull the cards and get into the energies. So you have the Page of Swords here in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. More for Taurus. Ace of Swords. Two of Pentacles. Ten of Swords in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Seven of Wands upright. With the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. So, where are you needing to take control in your life, Taurus? Where are you needing to, I guess, level up in a certain way to come up to speed to where you need to be? It feels like some of you may be, I don't know why this happened in the last series of readings too, but there's an energy of the past that seems to be coming back and back and back. And I don't, like I said, I don't know astrology. I don't know what's happening in the skies, but sorry, I had to drink some water. What it feels like here is that either you have been watching somebody or somebody's been watching you. There's been kind of like this present eye watching, and you need to decide if that's healthy, you know? So whether that is you doing it to somebody or somebody doing it to you, if it's somebody doing it to you, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel safe? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel like they're coming from a healthy place? If it's you doing it, is it to communicate with somebody? Is it in hopes of communication, you know, gathering information so when communication happens, you know, you have more to speak about, you have more understanding of a situation where you may have not had in the past. Either way, the Ace of Swords denotes an energy where communication is key. It's also talking about clarity and being able to discern what needs to be removed from our lives. If you're watching somebody's actions, if you're not communicating with them, what type of relationship is your situation based upon already? Like, what does that tell you? Okay, if you're not able to communicate with this person, you know, maybe it's time to just cut out that situation, you know, do something for someone. Sometimes that someone is you. How do you separate from a situation that has you out of sorts? Here, with the Two of Pentacles moving into the present energy, you have options, you have potentials. There are things that you can do, you know. Do you want to deal with your emotions? Do you want to deal with your stability in life? Which aspect of your life do you want to address? Because it feels like there's a separation within the energy of you and somebody else now that's actually allowing for energy to flow. It's like you're getting the lesson, Taurus. You're moving forward towards something much better. Now you have the opportunity to flow in a different way in your life. You have the opportunity to seize and make your own, which is great. But I think it's important for also us to be conscious of how we are taking information in, what we're processing, what we're holding on to, what we're living in hope for, what are the things that we are disregarding that need to be paid attention to more. And a lot of us do that. Every sign does it. All of us do it in the world. We all pay attention to things that we want, but not necessarily the things that we need. Sometimes that's on an internal level. The Seven of Wands talks about needing to have boundaries, understanding situations for what they are versus what we hope they are. It is kind of being battered and bruised in a situation. It's being tired of dealing with things that bring you anxiety, things that cause uncertainty, especially if there's been forms of neglect or where people are not present and you're waiting for communication, or you have a lot to say but there's no opportunity to say it because somebody's MIA here. It's time to regain power in your own life here, Taurus. So let's go ahead and clear up this reading. If it brings you anxiety, it's likely not the best thing to engage in. Show me this page of, okay. So the Page of Swords in reverse, you have the Three of Wands coming out in reverse. The Three of Wands in reverse is a card of giving up on something. You know, oftentimes it's something upright. It's something that we've held on to, we've hoped for, we've put energy into it, we've planted seeds, we've done the talking, we've done everything we can to get things started, get the ball rolling, and we've put energy and effort into things. And then we're waiting and we have things happen, you know, things come back into fruition. It's waiting for your ships to come in, waiting for things to solidify, waiting for things to actually, now that you put the effort in, it's things coming back to you. Here, in reverse, either you walked away, this person walked away, there's some sort of giving up on a situation that's happened, yet somebody's still watching somebody. It's in their mind. It's kind of ingrained in their mind now, you know. I'm sorry, I have to cough and whatever, clear my throat. I have to. With this Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck, basically what I'm feeling here is like somebody is having a difficult time letting go of a pain here, some situation that nothing's come out of it. It feels like there's still silence, or somebody's had to give up on something that just never manifested to the direction that they wanted. And it's taking a fair amount of self-motivation to get out of that, but you have options. It's just allowing yourself to feel the problems decrease, allowing yourself to move forward and not take so much responsibility for this. I feel like blame as well, like self-blame or something. Show me the Ace of Wands here for Taurus. So you have the Magician in reverse. Now, the Magician in reverse, if we're talking about a person, it's somebody who can be very deceptive. It's somebody who has their own agenda. They will sell you the moon and the stars and the sun up above. You know, they're somebody that is basically a showman. They're kind of for show, whether that be a show pony and like they're sexy and they're looking good, but there's not really much there to create anything with. That might be part of the situation too. Either way, the situation didn't manifest to the direction that you wanted it to go. And to the direction somebody didn't want it to go. And there's a necessity for communication here, but if the communication is not willing to be had, then somebody has to just be honest and cut it out of their life, okay? Which is the difficulty for a lot of people, most people. Show me the Two of Pentacles. So we have the Eight of Swords here for the Two of Pentacles. And then we have the Empress at the bottom of the deck. That is your energy, Taurus, the Empress. Now, with this Eight of Swords, here with the Two of Pentacles, you have an energy of being indecisive. You have an energy of being afraid of the potential of the future. Which direction do I choose? Which option? Some of us, it takes a lot to let go of the past. It takes a lot to let go of a person so we can actually see the things that are abundantly in our lives for our taking, for our expression to grow and change. Sometimes it's difficult to see those things because we're so entrenched in something else, whether that be dealing with somebody who did not give you truth and honesty and they had other things going on in the background, something that you had to give up on but you're still holding on to. The The Page of Swords in reverse, I know it's a card of stalking and somebody watching you, but also it can be an energy. If we're just talking about energy, it can be something where somebody is having a very difficult time letting go because they're seeing like so many different avenues. And it's like kind of this energy, like creating stories, you know, hoping that things go a certain way, but it's telling yourself an incorrect narrative here. Show me the 10 of Swords in reverse for Taurus. 2 cards out. So you have the 9 of Pentacles and you have the 3 of Swords. So the 9 of Pentacles essentially communicates an energy where we really need to separate ourselves from situations that we've been holding on to, okay? If you've been stuck and cycling in a situation with somebody who hasn't given you closure, who hasn't given you communication, somebody who's just kind of like dropped the ball here and done whatever they want. I'll probably pull another card for this Magician here in a minute, but it's time to separate from those things, from those energies. Even if you are separate and you're not with that person, sometimes your energy is still with that person. Okay? So it's about being very clear in regard to how you cut the ties here with that. There's a big process within healing here. You've got the 10 of Swords in reverse. You've got the 3 of Swords here. Add them up, you get 14 or 13 and 4. It's 4. It's a 4. I'm sorry, it's not 14, it's 13, but it's a 4. It's the 4 of Swords, basically a necessity to heal a situation, take time out from things to look at all angles and be very direct in the way that you approach that change and that desire to change the situation versus wallowing in it. 9 of Pentacles is about taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you in your life and those that you present to yourself. It is feeling stable and in a better place in your life, feeling happier because you've achieved certain things that only you can provide your experience. It's not being given anything, it's making things out of nothing for yourself. This is the energy that I feel that you're in, but having a hard time accessing in its fullness and totality because of the pain, because of the heartache. But rest assured, this is over, okay? 10 of Swords, you're letting that stuff drop out of you. It's over. And it's okay to have a hurt heart about it. It's okay to feel pain about things, but we need to not live here. And I think that this is not living here by this 10 of Swords being put in reverse. This is basically allowing those things to drop out of your way so you can actually attain more in your life. With this Emperor at the bottom of the deck, this energy talks about taking action in your life. Underneath the Emperor, you have the 8 of, oh my God, I don't have any nails. You have the 8 of Wands here. I'm sorry, the 8 of Cups. Jesus Christ, the 8 of Pentacles. Good Lord, I can't even talk anymore. The Emperor with the 8 of Pentacles. This is basically telling me that you are going to need to start putting your entire effort into changing your situation, okay? Which will be very positive, but it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of work. And I feel like, Taurus, you guys might be tired of that. You might be tired of putting in so much effort just to feel painful, but that pain is ending here. You just have to look at it in a different way. Be discerning about it. Be very discerning about it. Show me the Temperance card in reverse. 6 of Cups. So you have the 6 of Cups, and at the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Swords. So Ace of Swords, 6 of Cups. This is, again, about communication or the lack of communication. It can be a lack of communication in regard to stabilizing your situation at the current time. I've been in situations with people where I do not get any type of closure or clarification or anything from them. And it's like, I have to move forward in my life. I can't stay stagnant with that energy. I can't let it hold me hostage. Here, the 6 of Cups, it denotes an energy of somebody from your past coming back. It's a card of reconciliations, trying to patch things up. It can also be a card of children. It can be a card of family members and children and, things of the past. But oftentimes it denotes an energy of somebody from the past coming back, somebody wanting to communicate. But again, how much is that communication necessary? Okay, that's kind of what I want to pose that question to you. How much are you letting the communication of dealing with somebody? Okay, let me rephrase this. How are you letting that communication dictate your experience as of now? Where are you limiting your life at this point due to holding on to the necessity to have a communication with somebody from the past? That's what I want to say. Okay. Where is it getting in the way, especially if they aren't showing up or haven't shown up yet? I don't know. It feels like a fair amount of time has gone by. Show me the Seven of Wands here for Taurus. You have the Ten of Swords here, okay? And like I said, the Four of Swords. Ten of Swords, Three of Swords, Four of Swords. Ten of Swords here. This is an ending to this. Again, if it brings anxiety into your life, if it feels frustrating, if it feels like you're not getting closure from somebody and they just don't give a shit, they don't. Like if they have no response, if they have no care to give that to you, take that as your experience and roll with it. Like you got your answer right there. It's harsh, but you have your answer right there. Don't hold on to hope for somebody that... Let the energy go. Even if this person does come back, if it brings you anxiety, step away. Bottom of the deck, the Four of Swords. Healing. Healing is necessary. Before you can step into your life and start giving to your experience in a better way, there are some things that need to be addressed here within you and healed, at least active change to be made for them, okay? Do something for someone. I feel that that energy is directed towards you, Taurus. Give your attention to another. I don't know. I think it's important to give your attention to yourself. You may have somebody come back from your experience that wants to communicate something to you, but I think it's important for you to recognize the energy that has been between you up until this point. And if you are to continue into this, you have the Seven of Wands and you've got the Ten of Swords. While this is again an ending, it's almost going to be like kind of giving to the energy again. You're going to be in a problematic situation with somebody again, at odds with somebody again, and then it ends again. So I want to throw that out there. Show me the Magician in reverse for Taurus. Show me the Magician in reverse for Taurus. You have the Nine of Cups here. And the Judgment card at the bottom of the deck. Under that, you have the Knight of Wands. It's basically energy within a situation where somebody is in and out. They're in and out. And the problem here, I'll say it as the problem, because it kind of makes us stay in situations or makes us question and ponder over situations that are done or unhealthy for us to be in, but we're still there. The Nine of Cups. So at some point, there was an energy between the two of you where there was a distinct connection. There was an emotional give and take, a flow that seemed to happen. And there's something about it that was kind of beautiful. Now, while that may be, you also have somebody that wasn't necessarily trustworthy that you may have been experiencing that with. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean you made a wrong decision. It literally, these people that come into our lives are for our greatest benefit. And by giving us pain and change and obstacles, they force us to look at ourselves. They force us to change. They force us to access things that we've hidden away. You can have that again, but it needs to be with somebody who's honest, who's willing to share with you, who wants to be there for you. That is the judgment. How much energy do you choose to give to this person and continue to give to this person? What is your primal fire? I want to pull one more for the do something for someone. Give your attention to another. Please show me do something for someone for Taurus. Do something for someone. What is this about? The Five of Cups. Loss and pleasure. The Five of Cups is a card of sadness. It's a card of a bit of emotional ruin. If you're coming from a place like that, maybe doing things for people is difficult. Maybe it's easy. Maybe that's something that can help you. You know, that can go either way. I believe in World War II, for women who had their husbands were out, and, fighting in the war, there was a lot of frustration and pain, and one of the ways that they were able to come out of that was to actually volunteer and donate their time to people who were also in need. It helped them change their perspective. It helped them see things in a different way. It was no longer them focusing just on their pain and their sadness and uncertainty about the state of their marriage and their partner's lives, but now they were able to give to somebody else. It kind of changed the dynamic and became actually a healing thing for people to do back then. The Five of Cups is a card of loss. It's a card of regret. But, you know, if you're having that much loss and regret, where can you start giving back to yourself? Do something for someone. Do something for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Immediately, I'm feeling like drink beautiful teas, drink beautiful water, you know, sleep in clean sheets. Give your, like, I don't know, sometimes I go on Amazon and I look at like different bedding sets. I have like so many on my private lists, but they're beautiful. They're like, you know, velvet and damask and like beautiful things from foreign lands. And I haven't bought them, but I want to. Like, I would love to sleep in something like that, something luscious and foreign and gorgeous. Like, treat yourself, you know? If you want to eat something technically bad for you, go for it. If you need to get time with yourself, do it. Whatever way you can give back to yourself, your Taurus, it's important. But valuing yourself here in the situation is the crux and key of this reading. Listen to your heart. Listen with your heart. This is the bottom of the deck. Listen with your heart. You are listening, but need to hear with a loving heart. I feel that means you listening to yourself, changing your situation, and changing the way that you look at this. I'm going to let this go. I hope that this was helpful for you. Well, can we have advice? Let me get some advice for Taurus. Okay. Yeah, you have the Ten of Cups popping out in reverse here. Advice for this reading. This is a situation that I feel like no matter how you slice it, you know, you can have longing for somebody, but that doesn't necessarily give them, it doesn't mean that they're going to show up and give you back how you need. It doesn't show up and, you know, my words are gone. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to show up and give back to you in the way you need. This person may not have that to give, you know, and to put your eggs in that basket may be counterproductive for you in the long run, just because it doesn't feel like it would be reciprocated here. It almost feels like kind of wasting that energy. And I will say that, like, if you were to go back into this trying to give to it again, I would say it feels like wasting that energy where that energy could otherwise be put to better use for you, Taurus. So I'm going to close it down here. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you choose to donate, there's a link for you to do so in the description box below. And I will be back in a couple of weeks for your February reading. All right, take care. Bye-bye.